Irene, and welcome back to You Eating. So today we're going to be doing a two-part series dedicated to dishes that were popularized in LA's Koreatown. What's really unique about restaurants in LA's Koreatown versus, say, New York's Koreatown here is that instead of offering a wide variety of dishes to appeal to a larger palate, restaurants will often pick one dish to specialize in, sort of like they do back in Korea. So if that dish hits it big, like making it into the Korea Times, or word gets out in the local church groups, then you know you have a hit on your hands. One of the first places to really succeed at this was Beverly Soondubu. In 1986, Monica Lee, who was a Korean immigrant, opened their first location on Beverly Boulevard. And then later she opened a second location on Olympic Boulevard, and that's the location that remained for almost 30 years before it closed recently in the fall. She took this really simple dish, Soondubu, which wasn't that popular in Korea, and she built her whole restaurant around it. We would always go there after church on Sundays. They had a great lunch special that my parents loved. They had these beautiful raw wood hewn tables that I was really in love with. And they had this really simple tofu appetizer that they would give you like an amuse-bouche so you could taste how delicious their tofu was. In 1996, Hee-Suk Lee, who was also a Korean immigrant, opened up BCD Tofu House, which really blew up the Soondubu scene and made it a global phenomenon. It got so big that it actually went back to Korea and became really popular there. And that was a large part because of the Korean American experience. So I'm going to be making the sauce for Soondubu Jjigae. There's a bunch of different ways to make it. You can build it in the pot when you're cooking it. I'm going to do it where I make the sauce first. And for that, I'm going to be using both fine and coarse gochugaru. The other way around. Fine and coarse gochugaru. The difference is just in the grind. So these are a little bit more coarse cut, and then this is usually what you use for cooking. And then fine is usually what you use for making sauces and kimchi. So I'm going to be using a little bit of both. So I'm going to be using beef broth for this. I made this a long time ago for seolleongtang that I was making, and I had it in the freezer. You don't have to use it. You can use chicken broth, you can use store broth, you can use water, you can use anchovy stock. It doesn't matter, but the better the broth you have, the better your soup will be. I'm going to be using a tukbaegi, which is this stone bowl. This is classically what they use at Soondubu Jjigae restaurants. And it stays really hot when you go put it at the table, so it's perfect for this. But if you don't have it, you can just use a regular pot. My favorite order at Beverly Soondubu and also at BCD Tofu House is the combination one, the combo one. So that's kind of what I'm making here today. It has beef and seafood and vegetables, so it's sort of the best of both worlds. You can also use whatever flavors you want. That's what's great about this stew. If you don't like it as spicy, you can add a little less sauce. If you want to use other ingredients, like making it all vegetarian, you can do that. My second favorite combination is kimchi and pork, so that's really good in here too. The key for this stew is obviously the Soondubu or the soft tofu. They usually sell these in two different kinds. They have this in the tube form, and then they also sell it in the box form, and you'll see that it says silken on it. We're not going to be using the whole packet, so whatever we have left, you can put into a container and just fill it with water and then store it in your fridge for other purposes. So this is my Soondubu Jjigae. It's hot. Ooh, still boiling. Woo. And then the best part, of course, is adding the fresh egg into it while it's still cooking. Prefer hot. It's super creamy, super spicy, super hot, but that's definitely what the classic Soondubu Jjigae is all about. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for part 2 of the LA Koreatown series. Bye! Alright, you guys come meet.